The world of sports is a roller coaster of emotions, filled with moments of triumph and passion. Yet sometimes it also witnesses heartbreaking tragedies where top athletes, cheered on by thousands, lose their lives before our eyes. Today we delve into these shocking events, where celebration turned to sorrow. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and join us as we explore these unforgettable moments. So go ahead and leave your like, click below on the subscribe button, and let's go. Phil Hughes.
Tragic passing of Philip Hughes. The talented 25-year-old never regained consciousness after he was struck by a ball on Tuesday.
Phil Hughes was an Australian cricketer regarded as one of the most promising batting talents of his generation. Born on November 30th, 1988, in Maxville, New South Wales, Phil broke records at a young age, becoming the youngest cricketer to score twin centuries in a test match for Australia. Known for his unorthodox batting stance, he had a knack for dispatching the ball to the boundary with ease. On November 25, 2014, while playing in a Sheffield Shield match at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Hughes faced a short-pitch delivery from bowler Sean Abbott.
We have an emergency situation unfolding at the Sydney Cricket Ground where Phil Hughes has been struck with a high ball and placed on a medicab. He's receiving treatment at the ground.
Attempting a hook shot, he was struck on the neck by the ball. Hughes momentarily seemed to adjust his helmet, but then collapsed onto the pitch, leaving players and spectators in a state of shock.
The New South Wales fast bowler, who's bowled about 5 overs today, has been bowling quite aggressively. He bowled a bouncer. It hit Phil Hughes. Not 100% sure exactly where the impact was.
Medical staff rushed to his aid, and he was urgently transported to the hospital, where he underwent surgery. Despite intensive care, Phil Hughes never regained consciousness and passed away 2 days later on November 27, 2014. Hughes's death raised questions about player safety, leading to innovations in helmet design and renewed awareness of the risks posed by fast bowling. Chuck Hughes.
Detroit Lions wide receiver Chuck Hughes died of a heart condition in the fourth quarter on the field in Week 6 of the 1971 season.
Chuck Hughes was a promising wide receiver for the Detroit Lions in the National Football League. Born on March 2, 1945, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Hughes played college football at the University of Texas at El Paso, where he set multiple receiving records before being drafted into the NFL. During a game on October 24, 1971, against the Chicago Bears at Tiger Stadium, Hughes suddenly collapsed on the field late in the fourth quarter.
Chuck Hughes died of a heart condition in the fourth quarter on the field.
Initially, players and spectators thought he was just shaken by a tackle, but it soon became evident that something far more serious had occurred.
As a chilling silence filled the stadium,
Medical staff rushed to Hughes's aid, performing CPR in front of a stunned crowd, while both teams looked on in disbelief. Despite their efforts, Hughes never regained consciousness. He was pronounced shortly afterward, and an autopsy revealed that he had suffered a massive heart attack due to advanced arteriosclerosis. Chuck Hughes remains the only NFL player to be on the field during a game, a haunting statistic that underscores the dangers of high-level sports. Reggie Lewis.
Reggie started feeling out of breath. He then collapsed, was in cardiac arrest, and pronounced at the age of 27.
Reggie Lewis was a charismatic and prolific scorer for the Boston Celtics, remembered by fans as much for his graceful style on the court as for his quiet leadership off it. Born on November 21, 1965, in Baltimore, Maryland, Lewis played college basketball at Northeastern University, where he became one of the nation's most exciting prospects. Drafted by the Celtics in 1987, he soon emerged as one of the franchise's cornerstone players following the retirement of Larry Bird. In the 1992-93 NBA season, Lewis was at the peak of his career, averaging over 20 points per game. However, underlying health issues began to surface. He collapsed during a playoff game against the Charlotte Hornets, complaining of dizziness and shortness of breath. On July 27, 1993, Reggie Lewis collapsed again, this time at Brandeis University in Massachusetts, where he was practicing during the off-season.
Within just 5 minutes of a friendly pickup game with some college friends, Reggie started feeling out of.
He was rushed to the hospital but could not be revived. The official cause of was cardiac arrest, likely related to a structural heart defect. His passing at the age of 27 shocked the NBA and the sports world at large. Samantha Serio. Samantha Serio represents a different kind of story among tragic sports incidents. Though she experienced a career-ending injury, she did not lose her life. A promising young gymnast from Auburn University, she gained worldwide attention in 2019 after suffering one of the most horrific injuries ever witnessed in the sport. During a routine at the NCAA Regional Championship in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Samantha landed so badly that she broke both of her legs at once. She fractured the bones in her lower legs, dislocated both knees, and tore multiple ligaments, all in a single devastating moment. Following the accident, Samantha immediately announced her retirement from gymnastics and focused on her recovery. Her main goal was to regain her mobility in time to walk down the aisle on her wedding day. Remarkably, just 3 months later, she accomplished that, marrying Trey Wouter Weylandt.
Belgian cyclist Wouter Weylandt has died following a crash during the third stage of the Giro d'Italia.
Wouter Weylandt was a Belgian cyclist admired for his high-speed racing style. Born in Ghent on September 27, 1984, he raced with prominent teams including Omega Pharma and Trek Factory Racing. His achievements included a stage win in the 2010 Giro d'Italia and another during the 17th stage of the 2008 Vuelta a España, reflecting his potential as an emerging star in the sport.
Weylandt is the fourth cyclist to die during the Giro and the first for 25 years.
Tragically, Weylandt's life and career were cut short on May 9, 2011, during the Giro d'Italia's third stage. Descending the Passo del Bocco, an area recognized for its tight turns, he was reportedly traveling at over 80 kilometers per hour. Witnesses say he glanced back, possibly to gauge his competitors' positions, then lost control of his bike. He collided with a concrete barrier, suffering multiple fractures, severe head trauma, and extensive bleeding.
The leopard trek rider fell at high speed during a descent about 20 kilometers from the end of the Reggio Emilia to Rapallo stage.
Medical personnel arrived swiftly, but Weylandt was declared before reaching the hospital.
After receiving medical treatment from race doctors for over half an hour, Weylandt was scheduled to be airlifted to hospital.
The cycling world was deeply shaken by his death. As a tribute, riders covered the next day's stage in complete silence, pedaling side by side to honor Weylandt. Dale Earnhardt.
It was undoubtedly one of the toughest announcements that I've ever personally had to make. But after the accident in Turn 4 at the end of the Daytona 500, we've lost Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt was a legendary NASCAR driver, famous for his black number 3 car and the nickname The Intimidator. He earned that moniker because he constantly stayed close behind competitors, applying relentless pressure on the track. Throughout his career, he won 7 NASCAR championships and achieved 76 victories, making him one of the most successful figures in the sport. Beyond racing, Earnhardt valued family and took pride in watching his son, Dale Earnhardt Jr., embrace the world of auto racing. On February 18, 2001, Earnhardt participated in the Daytona 500, an event he had triumphed in before. During the race's final lap, he assumed a defensive position for teammate Michael Waltrip and his son Dale Jr., who were leading at the time. Approaching the last turn, Earnhardt's car was bumped by another vehicle, causing him to spin and crash head-on into the wall.
Hitting the wall at nearly 200 miles an hour. Daytona with unknown injuries.
Although it initially looked like a routine accident, this time the outcome was fatal.
Come by faster that something was seriously wrong within the car. And nobody knows his exact condition because nobody has ever really talked about it.
The loss of Dale Earnhardt shook the entire racing community. Even today, his legacy endures, both for his remarkable record on the track and the resolute spirit that made him an icon of American motorsports. Antonio Puerta. Antonio Puerta was a gifted footballer who rose through Sevilla FC's youth system, quickly earning a spot in the first team. During the 2005-06 season, he distinguished himself as a left-back, famously scoring against Schalke 04 to secure Sevilla's place in the UEFA Cup final, which they subsequently won over Middlesbrough. In the following season, his decisive penalty against RCD Espanyol helped the club claim the 2006-07 UEFA Cup title. His impressive performances garnered the attention of major teams such as Arsenal, Manchester United, and Real Madrid, and also led to his inclusion in the Spanish national squad. Tragically, Puerta's promising career ended abruptly. On August 25, 2007, while playing against Getafe, he suffered a cardiac arrest on the pitch. Although he briefly recovered and was assisted to the locker room, he collapsed again. Rushed to the hospital, Puerta endured multiple cardiac arrests, resulting in severe brain damage. He passed away 3 days later due to a difficult-to-detect heart condition. His death sent shockwaves through the soccer community. Puerta had shown warning signs before, yet medical tests never uncovered a critical issue. Thousands gathered at Sevilla's Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium for his memorial, honoring a player whose talent was matched only by his potential. Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson was a promising ice hockey player, born in Minnesota in 1994. After making a name for himself in college leagues, he began his professional journey in 2017 with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the NHL, even though he had not been drafted. His determination led him to play in 13 NHL games between 2018 and 2020, after which he continued his career in Europe with teams in Sweden, Germany, and most recently for the Nottingham Panthers in the United Kingdom. On October 28, 2023, during an elite ice hockey league match against the Sheffield Steelers, a tragic incident occurred. In a play gone wrong, the blade of an opposing player's skate, worn by Matthew Petgrave, accidentally sliced Johnson's neck. The injury was immediately catastrophic, and despite rapid medical intervention on the ice, Johnson's wounds proved fatal. He passed away at the age of 29, leaving the arena and the wider sports community in shock. This tragic event sparked intense discussions about player safety, leading the British League to mandate neck guards from January 2024. Additionally, the Nottingham Panthers retired his number 47 jersey to honor his lasting impact on the team.
Death of Adam Johnson at the venue, with special tributes for Nottingham's number 47.
Ayrton Senna.
Good evening. Ayrton Senna, 3 times world motor racing champion, has died after crashing during the San Marino Grand Prix.
Ayrton Senna, a Brazilian racing icon, was renowned for his extraordinary skill behind the wheel and his charismatic presence. Senna won 3 Formula One World Championships in 1988, 1990, and 1991. By demonstrating exceptional talent even under the most challenging conditions, such as driving in heavy rain. On May 1, 1994, during the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, Senna's fate was sealed in a tragic accident. The day had already been marred by tragedy following the death of Austrian driver Roland Ratzenberger during qualifying. Despite his heavy emotional burden, Senna took to the track determined to race. While leading on the 7th lap, his car lost control at the high-speed Tamburello corner. Although the collision was not head-on, a piece of the car's suspension broke off, pierced his helmet, and struck his head.
Senna bateu forte. Ali na Tamburello.
Despite immediate medical attention, being airlifted to a nearby hospital, Senna succumbed to his injuries within hours. His untimely death not only devastated the racing community, but also led to significant safety reforms in Formula One, altering how the sport protects its drivers. Owen Hart.
Owen Hart has tragically from that accident here tonight.
Owen Hart was a celebrated professional wrestler, known both for his impressive skills in the ring and for being part of the famous Hart wrestling family.
Oh my God, man. Owen Hart kept morale up. I mean, Owen Hart is the best, man.
Unlike his brother Bret Hart, Owen had carved out his own niche in the World Wrestling Federation by adopting unique personas and taking risks that showcased his athletic ability. On the day of the Over the Edge event, while the broadcast was temporarily paused for a commercial break, a planned dramatic entrance turned tragic.
Because I had never heard of a professional wrestling man in the ring before.
Owen was scheduled to descend from a high structure as part of his Blue Blazer character act. However, due to faulty equipment, he lost his grip and fell violently into the ring. The impact was so severe that live viewers could scarcely believe what they saw.
Tragedy befell the World Wrestling Federation and all of us. Owen Hart was set to make an entrance from the ceiling, and he fell from the ceiling.
Despite immediate emergency intervention, Owen Hart did not survive the fall. The incident sparked a significant controversy within the wrestling world. Marc-Vivien Foé.
Marc-Vivien Foé collapsed and died for no apparent reason during this morning's Confederations Cup semi-final against Colombia.
Marc-Vivien Foé was a talented midfielder from Cameroon who played for major clubs like Lyon and Manchester City. He had established himself as an integral player for both club and country, notably during the 2002 World Cup and the 2003 Confederations Cup. During a semi-final match of the 2003 Confederations Cup against Colombia, an unexpected tragedy struck.
The tragedy has stunned the football world. Foé met in the game that brought him fame and honor.
Foé suddenly collapsed on the field, and despite immediate medical attention, he could not be revived.
Suddenly fell to the ground. He was in obvious difficulty and never recovered.
It was later determined that he suffered a cardiac arrest, a result of a rare heart condition known as hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The collapse occurred in full view of his teammates in the crowd, leaving everyone in a state of disbelief and sorrow. Following the match, the news of Foé's death spread quickly.
It was officially announced minutes after the match. Players from both sides wept in disbelief,
Causing widespread mourning across the soccer community. In the wake of his passing, clubs such as Manchester City and Lyon retired his jersey number, and FIFA introduced emergency medical programs aimed at preventing similar incidents in the future. Foé's untimely death remains a poignant reminder of the vulnerabilities athletes face despite their remarkable physical abilities. João Carvalho.
28-year-old mixed martial arts fighter has died after losing a match.
João Carvalho, a Portuguese mixed martial arts fighter, had been carving out a promising career in the combat sports world. Known for his tenacity and skill in the ring, Carvalho's life took a tragic turn during a bout in 2016 in Dublin, Ireland. After suffering a defeat by technical knockout against Charlie Ward, Carvalho began to feel unwell.
Portuguese fighter João Carvalho was knocked out by Charlie the Hospital Ward in the third round of a Total Fighting Extreme 1 event at the National Stadium in Dublin.
Shortly after the fight, he was rushed to the hospital, where his condition rapidly deteriorated. Despite the best efforts of medical professionals, Carvalho succumbed to cerebral complications 2 days later. His sparked significant debate within the MMA community, with many arguing that the fight should have been stopped sooner to prevent further harm. The controversy also prompted discussions about the need for stricter safety protocols in the sport. Although Carvalho's loss was deeply felt by fans and fellow fighters alike, it has led to ongoing efforts aimed at improving fighter safety to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Fran Crippen.
Today, expect to receive the body of swimmer Fran Crippen, who died during a race in the United Arab Emirates.
Fran Crippen was a talented American swimmer with a promising future in open water events, recognized as a potential Olympic medalist. Born in 1984, Crippen had achieved numerous victories in his career, and he was highly regarded in the world of competitive swimming. On October 23, 2010, during the World Swimming Championships in the United Arab Emirates, Crippen participated in a challenging 10-kilometer open water race under extreme weather conditions. The water temperature was about 30 degrees Celsius, and the air hovered around 38 degrees Celsius, conditions that quickly took their toll. During the race, Crippen began experiencing symptoms of heat stress, thirst, disorientation, and difficulty locating the buoys. Despite these clear warning signs, he continued swimming, determined not to quit. Soon he disappeared from the sight of fellow competitors. An exhaustive search revealed his lifeless body near the final buoy approximately 30 minutes later. Investigations into his pointed to a combination of extreme heat, dehydration, and possibly an underlying heart condition that worsened during the race. Crippen's tragic passing led to widespread calls for improved safety measures in open water competitions, highlighting the urgent need for enhanced athlete monitoring and stricter environmental protocols during such events. Scott Kalitta.
family and friends are mourning the funny car driver Scott Kalitta at a New Jersey track.
Scott Kalitta was an accomplished American drag racer known for his success in both the funny car and top fuel categories within the National Hot Rod Association, NHRA. As the son of veteran driver Connie Kalitta, he quickly rose through the ranks, capturing 2 top fuel championships in 1994 and 1995, and earning respect for his skill and determination. On June 21, 2008, during qualifying at the Lucas Oil NHRA Super Nationals in New Jersey, a catastrophic incident unfolded.
Kalitta, after losing control during a Lucas Oil NHRA Super Nationals qualifying round.
While competing in his funny car, which was traveling at approximately 300 miles per hour, the engine exploded in flames near the finish line. The explosion compromised the car's control systems, and despite Kalitta's efforts to slow down, the vehicle collided with the retaining wall. Analysis revealed that a malfunction in the clutch system had kept the engine running, resulting in extreme impact forces that proved fatal. Kalitta's death not only shocked the drag racing community, but also led to significant safety changes, including a reduction in racing distances and the introduction of new technologies designed to prevent engine explosions and improve braking systems.